In the first part of the test, the examiner will introduce himself or herself and ask you to introduce yourself. The examiner will ask you general questions on everyday topics, such as where you live, your daily life, your family, your interests, your plans, and likes and dislikes. The interlocutor will address you and your partner in turn and will not invite you to talk to each other, though you can if you like. You should listen carefully to the interlocutor's questions and to your partner's answers, as you may get asked a similar question or a completely different one. This section tests your ability to give full answers to questions about familiar topics. You should not prepare answers in advance, as you won't sound natural, but you should try to give reasons or examples to develop your answers. Avoid one-word answers.
Okay, I'm going to start then. My name is Andres and I will be your examiner. Can you introduce yourself? Let's start with Wala.
My name is Guadalupe Martinez. I am 15 years old and I'm from Mendoza, Argentina, and I go to school to Corazón de María.
Good, thank you. Amelia?
Yes, my name is Amelia Pincolini. I'm 16 years old. I'm from Mendoza and I go to Rainbow School.
Thank you. And you, Agustina?
My name is Agustina Pincolini. I'm 15 years old. I'm from Mendoza and I go to Santa Maria School.
Okay, thank you very much. Nice to meet you, girls. Guadalupe, is there a place in the world you would like to visit?
I would like to go to New York because I've seen like a lot of movies about that city and I think it's really beautiful.
Thank you. What about you, Amelia?
I would like to visit Japan because I really like the culture and I would really like to get to know the place and the people there.
Thank you. And you, Agustina?
I would like to go to Canada because I like the cold and the landscapes there.
Great. Thank you, girls. And Agustina, do you find it easy to study where you live?
Yes, I do. I find it easy to study.
How come? Why?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Yeah. Can you explain further? How is it that it is easy to study where you live?
It's easy because there's a lot of teachers. The people here help you a lot. And I go to a very good school where they help you.
Good, cool. Thank you. What about you, Amelia? What do you think? Do you find it easy to study where you live?
Sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. It depends on the subject, but when I don't find it easy, my teachers or my friends help me to understand it.
Perfect. And you, Walla?
I find it easy because I've been lucky and the school I go to has like a really good English level and I've been having English since like first grade. So
Interesting. Amelia, what kind of work you would like to do in the future?
In the future, I would like to be an architect or a lawyer.
Good. And you, Agustina?
In the future, I would like to be a doctor.
Perfect. And you, Wally?
I'm like I don't really know not yet, but I like science and maybe design too. But I'm like seeing what's gonna happen.
Thank you very much. And Guadalupe, have you got any plans for this weekend?
Yes, I do. I have my grandparents' anniversary this weekend, and also I am planning my birthday, but I don't know what's gonna happen because of coronavirus, so that's what I'm doing.
Okay, thank you. What about you, Agustina? Have you got any plans for this weekend?
Yes, I plan on visiting my friends and my family.
Good. And Amelia?
No, not yet, because I can't leave my house because I'm quarantined, but maybe I'm gonna stay here with my dad, and yeah.
Good. Have you ever used your English on holiday, Amelia?
Yes, I have once when I went to Miami and I talked to a waitress.
That's pretty cool. What about you, Agustina?
Yes, I have. I also went with her, so I speak too.
Good.
Well,
Okay, that's nice. And what about you,
No, I've never used my English on holiday.
Okay. Lupe, how much TV do you watch in a week?
Not much, because I'm studying right now, so I don't watch much TV, but if I watch, I just watch Netflix.
Okay, good. What about you, Amelia?
I watch a lot of TV during the week, especially Netflix, and I usually do it when I finish my homework.
Perfect. And you, Agustina?
I don't watch TV because I don't like it.
In part 2 of the speaking test, you will have to talk for 1 minute without interruption. The interlocutor will give you 2 pictures and read out a task for you to complete. The first part of the task will be to compare the 2 pictures. There is then a second part to the task, which is usually a question written above the pictures. You are not given time to prepare or make notes about what you are going to say. After you finish speaking, the interlocutor will ask your partner a question to which they should give a short answer of around 30 seconds. After this, your partner will be given photos to speak about while you listen. You should be prepared to answer a question about your partner's photos. In this case, you would have to compare the 2 pictures and then say why you thought the people were enjoying the experiences. Your partner would then be asked if they enjoy going to concerts. Try to speak for the full minute if you can. Remember, this is your chance to show off your vocabulary and fluency, and try not to worry about the time. It is better to be stopped by the examiner than to run out of things to say after 30 seconds. Part 2 of the speaking test looks at your ability to organise your thoughts and talk at length about a topic. You will also be assessed on your ability to make comparisons, speculate, and express your opinions.
Here are 2 photographs. They show people on holiday in different situations. I'd like you to compare the photographs and say why the people enjoy spending their holidays in these different situations. So first, you need to compare both photographs, and you have 1 minute to do so. We start with Jade.
Okay. Do I have to start? Okay. In the first picture, can see that they love to spend the time in places that they like museums or to visit place that beautiful places. So, and in the second part, in the second photo, I can see that they like to spend their holiday in the places that they can, I mean, they can relax themselves. So And in the first picture, I said that because they are taking photos, so I think that that's a beautiful place to take photos, of course. And in the second picture, I see that there are a lot of people, so they are spending their holidays in sun, sunny place. So I think that they like to relax themselves in the pool or something like that, and they don't have to think about their jobs or another thing.
Mhm. Can you tell me why people enjoy different spending their holiday in these different situations?
Just because some people like to spend their holidays in beautiful places that you can visit, and 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 other people like to spend their holidays in places that where they can relax themselves.
Thank you, Faye. Manu, which of these two situations you enjoy the most? You like the most?
I enjoyed the most the situation of the pool, being with my friends on a pool, or yes, that,
Why?
because I when I go to visit like famous places, it's like when I see that for 2 minutes, it's like the same all the time. So I get bored, and with my friends, I hardly never get bored.
Thank you very much, Manu, for your answer. So, Manu, now I will show you two different photographs. They show families eating in different situations. I'd like you to compare the photographs and say why the people have chosen to eat together in these different situations. So let's first compare both photographs. You have just 1 minute to do so.
Okay. On the left photograph, there is, I think, two families, and they are having a tea. I think, like a breakfast. It could be, and they are in a restaurant. And on the right picture, it's like a picnic, I think, and it's a whole family with, I think, a grandma, and there is the father and sons and daughters. And I think that they have chosen to eat together in these situations. It could be at the left because of a special situation. I don't know, like a birthday, or maybe not. Maybe they are together because they haven't seen each other on a lot of time. And on the right photograph, uh, I think they are together, like on a picnic day, a day to relax and to be with the family. I don't see any cake, so I don't think it's a birthday, but it could be a relaxing day.
Okay, can you tell me why these people have chosen to eat together in these different situations?
Uh, because it's uh, nice to have time with your family or with your friends, to just to be with them and to share a nice moment.
Khalid, which of these two situations do you feel more identified with and why?
Mm, I feel more identified with the left photo because in I don't know, in weekends I always go with my family to a restaurant or something like that.
Hmm?
So I will choose the left order.
Okay, thank you very much, Jair.
In this part of the speaking test, you will take part in a discussion and decision-making task with the other candidate. The interlocutor will give you some written prompts and ask you to work together to discuss the prompts and answer a question. First, you should discuss each of the prompts with your partner for around 2 minutes. Then the examiner will ask you to reach a decision about something together. In this case, after you discuss what the benefits are of studying abroad, the interlocutor would ask you which 2 benefits would be the most important. This part of the exam focuses on your ability to exchange ideas, agree and disagree with your partner, express and justify your opinion, and reach a decision through negotiation. It is important to listen to your partner in order to respond to them in a natural way.
I'd like you to imagine that you have agreed to start a new sport to help you maintain a healthy lifestyle. Here are some sports for you to consider. First, talk to each other about how the different sports would help you to maintain a healthy lifestyle. Then, decide which 2 sports would be most rewarding to do. Let's first start with talking to each other about how the different sports would help you to maintain a healthy lifestyle. And you have 2 minutes to just.
Hello, Joaquin. How are you?
I'm fine, and you?
Very, very great. I think one of the most healthy sports is American football, because it's a sport where you need to be moving all the time. So you really need to be healthy all the time, so you keep up with the team. What do you think?
Yes, I agree with you. You are constantly moving and training for different matches. So, and the sport itself intend to try to make you healthier.
Yes, I
And
agree.
what do you think about scuba diving?
I don't particularly like it, but I think it's very healthy because I think it improves your oxygen capacity, and it can be funny sometimes. What do you think?
Yes, it can be fun. And what about cricket? For me, it's the one of the worst, because you are just staying there and moving just a bit.
Yes, I don't like it. What do you think about cycle racing?
Cycling can be great for your legs, but that it's not the same as running, and you are not working on your arms that much. You're just using your legs. So for me, that's not the best idea.
I
And
think it's very funny, but yeah, I agree with you. You're only using your legs, so yeah.
and what about climbing?
I think it depends on where you're climbing. For example, if I don't know, if you're climbing the Alaska mountain, I think it could be very risky. But if you're climbing a more normal mountain, I think it's great. Yeah.
Yes, it can be great too. And you're not going to climb the Alaska, but that's also one of the best option as American football. And I think that one is the best one.
Thank you, Joaquin and Tomas, for discussing this question, giving answers, possible answers to these questions. Now, I would like you to decide which two sports would be the most rewarding to do. You have 2 minutes to discuss this one.
I think one of the most, um, I think one of the sports I would practice is um, American football. Why not? I've never played before, but I think um, it's very fun, and yeah, I think that's the one I would do. What do you think?
Yes, I agree with you, and because that also that's one of the most popular sports and is really rewarded.
Yes.
For me also cycling, but I don't know what's your opinion about that.
Yes, I really like cycling. Yeah, I think that cycling is the other sport I would consider. So yeah, I think cycling is great. But if you think about it, scuba diving can be really helpful because, as I told you, it improves your oxygen capacity. So it could be very helpful in the long term. You know.
Yes, I kindly agree with you, but I don't know. It's a complicated sport to do,
Yeah, I need practice.
and you have to live near an ocean or a sea, or you you can do it.
Yes.
But for example, windsurfing, you can do it on a lake, so that can be another really good option. What do you think?
Yes, I don't like it a lot, but yes, I think it's not the most rewarding sport in terms of your physical health, but yeah, it could be. But I will stick with scuba diving and American football as the top two.
Yes, I totally agree.
Mm, because I won't even consider cricket. I think it's an awful sport.
No,
um, and
no, cricket is
climbing,
the worst.
it's a hobby, not a sport for me. So
Climbing can be, but it's better scuba diving or American football because you are it's the same and more easily you can do it.
yes.
Okay, thank you very much, Joaquin and Tomas.
The final part of the speaking exam is formed of a discussion based on a topic related to the collaborative task in part 3. The examiner will ask you and your partner some questions, which address the topic in more depth. You should answer the questions in depth and express and justify your opinions. Involve your partner in the discussion and agree or disagree with their opinions and ideas. Remember, the examiner is interested in your speaking ability, not your general knowledge. There are no right or wrong answers.
So I like you to imagine that you have decided to go on holiday with some friends. Here are some places where you could go. First, talk to each other about what you think is good or bad about these holidays. Then decide which two places would be best to visit with friends. So we're going to focus on the first part. Talk to each other about what you think is good or bad about these holidays. Generally, this part of the exam, you will be given 2 minutes to discuss. As we are three, I'm going to give you 3 minutes to discuss. So first, talk to each other about what you think is good or bad about these holidays. You can start.
Well, what do you think about exotic foreign cities, like the benefits?
I think it's a really good option because you get to see other culture and other people, how they live.
Yeah, me too.
I think it could be a good option, but I think that another really good option could be visiting art galleries and museums.
I kind of disagree because maybe if you are
Me too.
traveling with little children, they might get bored and think like it's really boring for them.
Or sometimes the museums or art galleries are full of people and you can't really
Yeah.
see.
And
So
what about relaxing in quiet countryside? What do you think?
I think it's a great
Um,
option. I would like to do that.
Yeah, me too.
I think that's a very good point. I really like that idea, and I think that it could be relaxing in a quiet countryside or a beach holiday could be a good option too.
Yeah, I think it's a good option, but I don't know if many people like the beach, so it might be like, no, I don't know if many people would like it.
Yes.
But what do you think about activity holidays like white water rafting? Do you like it?
I would personally like to do that.
I think that it's a good option, and I also think I would like to do that. But I think that sightseeing historic places would be interesting too to get to know the place better.
I do think like it's a good idea, but maybe like museums, it might be a little bit boring and the trip it's gonna be like boring too.
Yes.
So we have relaxing in a quiet countryside and exotic foreign cities. And what else? Um, like activity holidays. What do you think?
I think exotic foreign cities could be the best option.
Yeah, I agree with you. But I think we have to choose two.
Okay, so exotic foreign cities and activity holidays.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay,
Everyone?
you discussed the first part. You discussed um, what is good or bad about each place, and I think that you did very well because you mentioned, for example, visiting museums could be boring for kids, and this is a very good example of that particular place. Now that Wada introduced the second part of the exam, you will have 3 minutes to decide which two places would be best to visit with friends. So with friends, try to give examples and reasons. Express your opinion, but also justify why you choose that option. You have 3 minutes to start.
It's the same but with friends. Okay. Well, what do you think sighting in historic places will be like with friends?
I think that sightseeing historic places with friends could be interesting, but I also think that going to the beach with friends could be um, a better thing to do if you're with friends.
Yeah, me too. I think the first option is really boring to go with friends. And the beach is like a really nice place to, I don't know, play cards, go to the ocean. But what do you think that if you have the possibility to go to exotic foreign country or city, would you like it to go?
Yes, I would.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
me too.
think it would be better to go to an exotic city than to the beach.
Yeah. And what
Um,
about visiting art galleries and museums?
I think that could be a good option, but maybe with friends, I think that doing activity holidays could be something that you can have more fun doing instead of visiting art galleries and museums.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think, but maybe I kind of disagree, but because maybe not all of your friends like
Yes.
extreme sports.
Mhm. What
So
about relaxing in a quiet countryside?
I think that would be a little bit boring.
yeah, me too.
Yeah, I
But
have to agree.
maybe if you have like board games and cards, it wouldn't be as boring, but it's pretty boring.
Yeah.
So
So I think that exotic foreign cities or the beach
Yeah.
could be two options.
yeah, me too.
Yes, me too.
Thank you, girl.